Thank you, Jason. Welcome everyone to the October meeting of SWEC. We'll call the members.
Bliss,
Present.
McCarty,
Here.
Kennedy, here, Brockway,
Here.
Powers.
Here. Good. Minutes of our last meeting have been available. We are ready, I guess. For planning.
Do we have to do an approval of the annual
Approval, I'm sorry, yeah, get that. Approval the last minute, you move second. Any corrections, additions, comments? Motion to approve or voice vote, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, minutes are approved. Now we can go, sorry.
At the top of our agenda, under 3 resolution requests, we have 2 resolution requests that are related to our discussions at the budget workshop yesterday. Regarding setting the tip fee schedule for 2026 as well as the user fee for 2026. So at the current tip fee and user fee, we would be looking, why don't I backtrack and I'll just do them one at a time. At the current tip fee, we would have been looking at about $4.4 million in revenue. Given the capital project that we're looking to do at Southern Transfer Station next year, we had proposed raising the tip fee from the 102 a ton to 107 a ton, as well as raising the recycling tip fee from 75 a ton to 85 a ton. In addition to that, we also reached out to Casella to ask them about any anticipated increases to other items on the tip fee schedule. So what I just handed out to you is the first page is a summary of what those changes are. So it shows what is current and then what is proposed for 2026. And then the second page is just our current rate schedule for your reference. So anything that's not on that first page is recommended to stay the same. I had mentioned the tip fee. I had mentioned the recycling fee. If we raise that tip fee to the 107 a ton, then we would also look at raising our out of county rate to 110.50 a ton. That's part of our contract. It's always $3.50 more than the base fee. Casella also has indicated that we are looking at a $5 increase to the mattresses. So if you recall, right now we're doing 35 a unit plus a $5 subsidy. If we were to continue that subsidy, we'd be charging the customer $40 a unit with that $5 subsidy. So I'm put in parentheses, that's the Casella proposal. Although I do remember we had discussions yesterday about if we were to stop doing that subsidy. So if we were not to do that anymore, it would be about $45 a unit to the resident. And then the other change coming from Casella is appliances with Freon, which would go from $28 an item to $30 an item. And then the last item up for discussion is adjusting the minimum fee. So we've always done $20 and then whatever at the tip fee rate, whatever, how many pounds $20 comes out to be has been the up to amount for that minimum. So at 102 a ton this year, $20 minimum fee gets you up to 392 pounds. We could do that same formula and keep it at a $20 minimum up to 374. We may want to just round that up to 375 just for ease. But or if we wanted to change that minimum fee, because every time we raise the tip fee, that maximum amount for the minimum is obviously going to decrease, and then eventually it'll become so low that kind of, it won't really be there anymore. So I don't know if we want to adjust that now or just do that $20 at $375 and leave it there, and just maybe at some point we might have to look at making the minimum 25 or something else, so. So those are the proposed changes for 2026 for the tip fee schedule.
I move the proposed schedule so we can
Can we
discuss.
go through them one at a time?
Yes, yeah, I just wanted to
Well, we can
open it up
move
to
it, we can
discuss.
discuss it. Technically, we can't discuss it till that motion, too much.
That's all. I didn't wanna say I wanted to do it all. I just wanna get it out there.
So in a motion,
Second.
second, discussion
What's
Okay.
the motion?
to approve these changes. Now you can discuss them.
Or if you would
Okay.
rather, Keith, I can amend my motion and say, I move that we set the municipal solid waste tip fee at 107 per ton.
Well, that's what I'd rather.
Okay, I
Go
can
through each one.
easily do that. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Instead of, you're putting a motion out there for all of them the way they are, and then you're gonna have to have another motion to change them, whatever you wanna do.
Well, can,
Yeah,
You go
so-
through one at a time, you can vote on it and have it done with.
Yeah, so
well, yeah,
I'll do whatever you want.
either way, seems like that would only be two motions. This is gonna be,
Three.
if you do one at a time, it would be,
Well, you haven't gotta do the whole.
Yeah.
The rate schedule for the other stuff, the truck tires and the appliances and all that, you can do that all in one, but my biggest thing is with
the
the
mattress.
tipping fee, the mattresses and the user fee.
Okay. All right, let's just do the tip fee first then.
Okay. Casella's not going up on the tip fee? Is that the way I understand it?
They'll go up at our contracted rate, which for this year, Kyle, do you remember off the top of your head for going into? It was 3%.
Yeah.
Which we had factored in with our fees as they are, we would have been able to cover that increase. Any increase to the tip fee is to address the construction work.
So the 107 would be the extra $5 to go towards the capital project.
Yes.
All right. I'm good with the 107.
Okay, any other questions about the 107? Roll call vote.
Bliss, Bliss,
Oh, yes.
McCarty,
Aye.
Kennedy,
yes.
Brockway,
Yes.
Powers.
Can I just want to confirm something.
Hmm.
This includes the Southern Transfer Station capital project and not the leak in the project.
Correct.
Okay, now we need a motion on the mattress.
Well, I'll make a motion then that we raise the mattresses without the subsidy, without the county paying a subsidy, making it $45 a mattress. That all these motels, the colleges, the hospital, whoever, have to get rid of their mattress. They should be paying them. We shouldn't have to subsidize them.
I'll second that.
Discussion. My question is, would it be too difficult to impose that we don't subsidize commercial, but do subsidize residential?
I'm gonna look to
Individual
Casella on
residents?
how will that work coming across the scale?
I'll have to ask Adam, but I mean, it sounds like it's something that can happen.
Okay. Do you have a pretty good sense of whether somebody's coming in as a resident or they're coming in as a business? Do people who come in as a business typically have an account there versus somebody who's coming in as a resident probably typically is paying with a card or cash?
And Chris, like when we come through with mattresses, If we drop them, Chris always asks it's a commercial or a residential customer,
Okay.
just for.
The only ones that would be hard to check out would be the bed and breakfasts and
Things like that.
things like that. You know, people that are kind of private, but they're running a bed and breakfast and they're changing out their bunch
I
of
think for the
mattresses.
majority, you'd be able to tell if it's Hampton Inn or
Right,
With a
with
small
45 mattresses. or-
margin of error.
Yeah,
right.
So Casella's tearing these mattresses apart themselves, is that what they're doing?
And doing, and taking the foam.
yep, you guys ever seen the video? There's a video.
I don't think
There's
I-
a Casella YouTube video. I should send it. I don't know if Tammy, you've ever seen it.
No.
I'll have to send it to you guys so you guys can see it. There's a video that kind of shows the process, but yeah, so the padding goes in one container when it gets there. If there's wood involved, wood goes in another, gets scrapped, or metal. And it all gets, and I believe the padding gets recycled into either carpet padding or it's made into like pet beds and stuff like that as well. So yeah, I mean after it's cleaned, obviously, but
So actually, there's a market for all that stuff then.
I think so. Yeah. And I think the reason the cost is so high is because we drive it from Otsego
Delivery.
County to Buffalo.
Sure, that changed.
Where I know
That was not.
Casella has been trying very hard to find somewhere in central New York for a facility. I don't know where the plans are now, but I know they're definitely trying. That would obviously significantly reduce the price. of
Yes.
Driving to Buffalo, so.
This is a solid question. Then how many mattresses does that site recycle every year?
I'd have to check on that. I'm not sure. It's thousands and thousands.
Yeah. And everyone in the catchment area for Casella all have to
Yep.
go there.
Yeah,
So it really would be helpful to have something more central.
absolutely.
Any sense of the percentage of the matches that go through us or commercial and residential now?
I don't have a sense of that right now. Is that shown in our reporting? That's my question. I
Yeah,
don't
it should.
know.
It would show, businesses that have an account with them. If they
Okay.
run and check a check.
So we could run those numbers.
Yes.
It'd be interesting to know. I don't know if it necessarily, I mean, I would imagine the vast majority are coming to business.
It gotta be. I mean, like I say,
Resident
residents,
personally change their
resident-
mattress.
you don't change a mattress every 2 or 3
And
years.
the vast majority of people, when they buy a new mattress,
The company will
take the
take
old
them.
one back and then they're commercial getting rid of it.
Yep.
Not that many people that are getting rid of their own mattress.
We have a few people that along the side of the road.
So those people just throw them in somebody else's dumpster.
Yeah, really. I mean, yeah.
And I've heard people talk about, you know, they tear it apart themselves and throw it in, so it doesn't show up as a mattress. And
Well, I have to
Just
say.
stumbled across.
Tammy,
I'll
well,
probably be next month, but
that we subsidize.
that was just a thought. I'm not saying we gotta change it. Putting it out there for consideration.
This year, through September, we've paid 9,400 in subsidy.
I mean, we have a lot of mattresses, $5 a clip, you know,
Yeah.
Yeah, we average, over 200
a month.
a month. Yeah. That's what I could get a unit figure, I couldn't get a tonnage figure. Just because variance in weight, but I could get a unit figure of what we get.
Yeah, since that 9,400 is 1,880 mattresses divided by 5.
That's a lot.
It is a lot.
I think we ought to try it at the 45 with no subsidy for a year and see what happens. I mean, if I start seeing a lot of them along the road or something, well then. Like you say, a lot of people you buy mattresses from, they take the old one, do something with it.
Right,
Yeah.
if they're delivering
Yeah,
So then it's not really the homeowner's direct cost.
it. Yeah, it's being built into the price of the mattress.
Yeah.
buy a new mattress, don't do it. Take out work. I think I've had the same one for 40 years.
That's why you're so good.
Yeah. Don't sleep nights, worrying about it.
The public thanks you.
I guess we're ready to vote then.
Bliss,
Yes.
McCarty,
Aye.
Kennedy,
I,
Brockway,
Aye.
Powers.
Motion passes.
That saves us about 10 grand.
Probably 12, 13, somewhere in there.
A little bit helps.
Okay, we out of county tip fee. Your motion for that one?
I move that we set the out of county tip fee at $110.50 per ton.
Second,
Second.
discussion. It's the same increase as the other, I
Yeah,
think could,
our contract is set up that, $3.50 gets put on top for out of county. So,
any other questions or comments? Roll call vote,
Bliss,
yes.
McCarty,
Aye.
Kennedy,
Yes,
Brockway,
Yes.
Powers.
Right.
Motion passes. Let's do these next two together. Unless anybody has any objections.
I move we set the commercial recycling fee at $85 per ton and the appliances with Freon at $30 per item.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call vote,
Bliss,
yes.
McCarty,
Aye.
Kennedy,
I,
Brockway,
Aye.
Powers.
Motion passes. And lastly, the minimum fee.
I move that we set the minimum fee at $20 or $370. Right?
Second. I do have a question though.
Okay,
I'm a little confused on this. 392 pounds, what do you go over the scales and at least if you had 100 pounds, you're still gonna pay $20?
Yes.
correct. And say somebody pulls in with a dump trailer that isn't full or has real light stuff on it. As opposed to, I mean, you could have 400 pounds in a big garbage can. I
So
know what it is.
what's the fee if it's over 392 pounds?
So much a ton.
Yeah, 100 to a ton. So it would be like $20 and something or $21, like whatever. That $20 is at 392 pounds is what $102 a ton is, comes out to $20. Same with the 374, if you had 374 pounds at $107 a ton, that would pay $20.
So really, the $20 is kind of cheap, isn't it? When I have to go to the transfer station and pay $4.50 for a bag,
Yeah, and
I could take 20 bags.
20 bags and pay by the ton, it's cheaper than paying by the bag, correct.
yep, sometimes it works out better that way.
But they could, there's nothing stopping them from
And
doing that.
we do try to, when a resident calls us and it's, clear they're trying to figure out how to make this work for them, we do try to help them figure out the best option for them. If they've got a ton of bags, we might say, you're gonna be better off just paying the tip fee instead of trying to pay the per bag. You're gonna pay a fee. So we do try to, we're honest with them about which method of disposal is gonna be the best choice for them. And likewise, if somebody says, I just have like, a table that they want to get rid of, I'm like, you may want to hang on to that until you have other things that are, if that table doesn't weigh 392 pounds. So we try to, we do try to help residents. not,
Yeah. The price per pound is 5 cents a pound when you go by the ton. That it's significantly cheaper too.
Correct.
It's $15 up to 400 pounds at Burt Adams in Norwich. That's what we do. Save it up and take a truckload, and it's very rarely is it over $15. Once in a while, say, oh, that's 17 because of the heavy load today, but.
You're just taking your regular household garbage, takes a lot of bags.
You betcha.
The two-
Yeah.
If you take some agricultural plastic or anything else that weighs up, then it can get lower.
And what's the per bag fee now?
$4.50.
$4.50.
No changes are being proposed for
So
that.
that's 4 bags. 4.5 bags.
Most people aren't gonna have a problem paying $20 for all they can get in their pickup.
If you take 5 bags, you're better off paying by the ton.
Yep.
Any more questions? Roll call vote?
Bliss,
Yes.
McCarty,
Oh, yeah.
Kennedy,
Aye.
Brockway,
Yes.
Powers.
Okay.
Motion passes. Thank you.
The next resolution is to set the user fee. This increase is aligned with, a $5 increase for the, capital improvements at the Southern Transfer Station and does not include an increase for the leachate pipe. And that would be moving the user fee from $35 a unit to $40.
Motion.
So moved.
Second.
Tipping fee to $40. Even though we told everybody 20 years ago it's gonna go away after MOSA.
And we just brought our own things home.
We have a second, Craig.
That does cover all our, kind of our recycling costs.
Mm-hmm.
Hazardous waste.
Any other discussion on that? Roll call vote?
Bliss,
Yes.
McCarty,
Aye.
Kennedy,
Aye.
Brockway,
Yes.
Powers.
Motion passes.
I believe I will need to take those to admin as well. Heads up.
Right.
Okay. The next item is under approvals. We're.
Just want to comment on that, especially might be helpful if you had that mattress information by the time it gets to admin.
Sure.
I don't know if that's next week or,
It's the 23rd.
and then.
Okay.
Thanks.
We are going to be, this was the last extension for the MXI contract for household hazardous waste. We're gonna be going out to bid to get a new contract. However, because things start to book out, MXI said, in the event that they are the low bidder, they're willing to hold, a date for us just in case. So we wanted to get approval to set that date with the understanding that that's only if they're the low bidder and we end up contracting with them, but they have reserved August 14th through 15th, 2026 for us.
That motion, you anyway, you expressed it.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
When will the contract come up for renewal, Amy? Like,
Very soon,
Oh,
we're
okay.
finalizing the bid specs.
okay. But we wanna not lose our date on it.
Right.
Roll call vote?
Bliss,
Yes.
McCarty,
Aye.
Kennedy,
Yes.
Brockway,
Yes.
Powers.
So I don't know if this is a right time to bring this up, but there was some comments maybe yesterday about with long term, a longer term contract, maybe with Casellas, that there could be some opportunity for them to help pay for improvements or that.
It's way above my pay grade.
So at the time of the last, when we put the last contract out for this current one out for RFP, that would have been 2018, around there, is that right? The numbers and dates are starting to blend together.
Well, definitely.
Anyway, Casella had put in their proposal that we had put the RFP out as 5 years with the regular 2-year renewal option, and Casella had proposed a 10-year contract with the offer to make improvements to the site. And where we landed was somewhere in the middle, was a 5-year contract with an option for a 5-year renewal, but no capital improvements to the site.
So did we renew for 5 years or was it?
Yes, we're in our renewal.
So that runs out.
2028, 29, thank you.
It's still ways off, but so that's something we could talk about negotiations next time. Of course, it would have to go out to bid and everybody would have to be offered the same.
Yep, but that's something we can look at, trying to put that language into an RFP so that.
But that's 2 years down the road. We
Yeah.
still need to make improvements.
Yeah, so it's not
Yes.
gonna help us now, but
Perhaps with Northern and then kind of regular upkeep.
Or so. No.
completely.
Or at least build in sort of a maintenance plan into the contract,
Yes.
maybe just to alert us to the physical state of the buildings. I
Yes.
understand that.
Well, I
I
think
think
they
it'd be
do some
advantageous
now.
anyway.
I think it's, you know, if there's damage done by them, I said they're responsible for all that stuff, so.
Like, we didn't know that there were some key pieces in support of that roof that were not in place. Is that fair to say?
Yep, and I think that.
Got knocked out.
Somehow they weren't there when the wind came.
And I suspect that those things may have occurred at a time where there were some leadership transitions.
Yeah.
Kind of on both sides, and things were a little bit, and so it just, yeah.
If we would write it down, then it becomes a thing to look at. Thought for 2029.
Right. Okay, thanks.
Okay, now on to Kyle's monthly report. You get that shared.
All right, for the month of September, for MSW and CND, we collected 4,071.77 tons. This generated a revenue of $416,634.58. Our rebate from Casella was $4,899.48. And from 2024, we were up 207.92 tons. For recycling, we collected 318.90 tons. Our cost to Casella was $31,207.55. We recorded 296.68 tons at Appalachian. And from 2024, we were down 19.53 tons.
And let's just share the processing rate,
Yep, we did see a
slight.
processing rate increase. $1.26 versus August.
And that's year to year.
For electronics, for the month of September, we collected 9.13 tons. And we are currently at 45.5 tons for the year. For cardboard, we collected 4.29 tons. This gave us a savings of $55.11 per ton. For glass, for the month, we collected 5.32 tons at the Southern Transfer Station. And this gave us a savings of $76.31 a ton. And at the Northern Transfer Station, we collected 3.1 tons, and this gave us a savings of $57.78 a ton. For food waste, we collected $6 in compost revenue. For mattresses, we collected 265
Oh,
units.
sorry. I'll make you dizzy.
We sent 9.75 tons to Triad for recycling. And then our subsidy cost was $1,325. So you had $9,435 for the year. Subsidy cost. For books, for the month, we sent 1.02 tons from the Northern Transfer Station and 1.71 tons from the Southern Transfer Station.
Like our tons and pounds of such sure.
For metal, we sent 15.81 tons to Otsego Auto Crushers from Southern Transfer Station and 14.35 tons from the Northern Transfer Station. And our shared rebate was $439.04. For textiles, we received a revenue of $111.66 from St. Pauli's Textiles. And for tires, we sent 7.43 tons to BDS.
Is there a cost associated with the tire recycling?
Not to us directly.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
just the tip fee.
So last month we talked about possibly putting containers for these outer transfer stations for cardboard. Did we, anything on that or?
I need a reminder for myself.
Apparently a lot of tonnage in the cardboard.
Well. Any other questions for Kyle?
Thank you, Kyle.
I'm a little bit confused here. Do we have to set the rates for auto tires, truck tires? What did the mattresses, composting and all that? Isn't that all into one resolution someplace?
Yeah, it is. You're right. We probably should make sure those all get set, even though they're the same.
They're not gonna
They
change it any?
No.
No.
Yeah, we probably should also make
Yeah,
sure,
the-
because those have to be, even though they're not changing, they still have to be set. Yeah, thanks for catching that.
Is this gonna be one resolution, all these rate changes?
Yep.
Usually is.
So you just put all others remain the same, or do you actually physically?
Right amount.
So probably.
Probably should.
I move that we move forward with the schedule of fees that we didn't change at this rate in 2024, 2025.
Second.
Any other discussion? Roll call vote.
Bliss,
Yes.
McCarty,
Aye.
Kennedy,
Aye.
Brockway,
Yes.
Powers.
Aye.
I'll keep my mouth shut.
Thank you.
Motion passes.
Appreciate it. Next on the agenda is soil and water. No, you just saw them yesterday, Bob.
Oh, yeah, so the soil and water, district is the very successfully participated in the Northeast Regional Conservation District meeting for the US that was held in Syracuse. We had people from Maine and all the New England states, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and Christos, our director, and Brian Danforth, who is one of our board members, is also a district director. So the state is broken into different districts, and he's the District 4 director. And he was in charge of collecting items for the silent auction. So it was nice to see some items from Otsego County on the silent auction table, and people were really, I think, overwhelmed by the amount of things that they had for the silent auction. But we had classes on and seminars on different environmental and conservation techniques, and it was interesting to hear. I went to one and I didn't realize that it was like how they do things in Vermont. So I just thought it was a very interesting idea. So now I have to dig in to see how we handle that in New York. It was a little different than how, our conservation district works, I think. So that was good. I think it was really good professional development for our staff to go and participate and for our board members to be there. We are still working on our budget. We are right now alone in our office. The federal shutdown keeps the federal partners from coming into work other than just like by appointment. Maybe one or two of them come in every week to just make sure things are still there going along. So we don't really know when they're coming back, and we hope that it's soon. Some of them work on projects together with our techs and staff, so it's definitely a hold up not having them be there. Let's see, we're working on our budget, and we are midway and getting really nearing completion of the big project, one of our first big manure storage projects that we've had in the past couple of years. I think it's due to be like to have all the concrete poured and everything basically done on the big part within the next week or so. So that's down in Mount Vision as you go out of town. You can't really see it from the road. And I've told myself to not look for it because you really can't see it, and you might end up like going into the other lane for it. So we hope to have a field trip to go out there, and I would be happy to invite anyone from the committee or from the county board that wanted to go out as well when we do that to check out the final product. This is a big project, and Christos is doing a really good job keeping all the parts moving and going forward smoothly. So yeah, we're in pretty good shape. Do you have any questions?
No, just the comment that I think, he's been there 2 years now,
I think finishing 3.
finishing 3 now,
Yeah.
and it just seems to be things going so much better. Overall.
Yes.
Thanks to him and the board.
Yeah, the board is really doing a lot.
So I have a question. So we had chance to maybe get an excavator and
Yeah,
have buildings prove it, right?
yes.
I'm just curious how other members on the board feel about an excavator that, as far as I can tell, is gonna be lent out to the county.
Yeah, so Jordan had applied through, this is going back, Assemblyman McGee's office for the funds to build out the district office and do an expansion, and I think that one was 250,000. And the excavator,
It was
which I think we
200,000.
did through Senator Seward's office,
I remember that.
was another 200,000.
Yes.
So we wanted to kind of explore how that excavator would be best utilized if we were to get an excavator. Should we follow through on it? Is that really what you're thinking about, Jim?
Well, I thought we decided we didn't want an excavator, then he found an open resolution, from years ago, he wanted to follow up on that, and I guess the Congress or the Senator's office wanted to either do it or be done with it.
Yeah,
Or did we want to get the money for the bill? And I just have real reservations about the Solon Water District having an excavator under their thumb. You gotta have a place to keep it, you gotta have an operator, you gotta have maintenance,
You gotta have a way to move it.
you gotta have a way to move it.
these are things we talked about.
I don't think I wasn't for that before, because I know they were talking about Jordan, remember he was gonna put in culverts, all this drainage
Yeah.
stuff. My opinion, if they're gonna do highways, they shouldn't be doing that, the highway department. And unless they got a use for it off the road and was gonna dig somebody a pond or something, I don't
But you're
know.
saying there's a grant available.
But apparently that's been,
It's been there for years.
I'm gonna say 10 years or 8 or 9, I don't
It's been a
know.
long time.
Yeah.
No.
Can't
So
they give us the money to do something else, like hydro seed or something like that? It would be different.
It was for equipment, so,
Don't you need a new truck?
well, I think it said excavator specifically, but we don't know, I don't know at this point. But we can find out, like, how much flexibility is there within.
Well, I don't think the highway needs another excavator. I think they got 2 or 3 as it is, so.
Okay,
I know they got a big one and they got a small one.
and we don't have anyone who knows how to operate an excavator on our staff.
No, they don't have anybody.
It seems
Some
like it would be
equipment
one of those
wise.
things where you get this thing and now you have an equal number of costs mounting up
As
just to
much
take
as I
care
hate
of
to
it.
give money back to the state.
So, yeah, see what the flexibility is. If there's some other piece of equipment,
Yeah, cause we just got it.
they could upgrade their post pounder, something like that. But they got 2, one hasn't worked in years and the other one is broken every time I rent it.
Okay,
I spend
yeah.
more time fixing it than I do using it.
Could equipment include IT equipment?
You'd have to dig into that.
Just like Crystal says in his mind, he wants an excavator, I'm just saying,
Well, yeah, that's what Jordan wanted, was an excavator, but that doesn't mean it couldn't be used for something else.
Right. Yeah, we'll, take this kind of under advisement and, bring that back to Christos and the staff and really see what the realities of the excavator would be. The county doesn't really need one, is that what you're saying, Keith? That they have excavators, like they could just borrow it from us if we wanted.
Well, if they want to run,
Yeah.
I'm not talking for Rich.
No,
You know,
maybe. And we don't have a trailer and a trailer to carry.
Well,
an
then you're gonna have to
excavator
get the county to transport it wherever you're gonna want to go with it.
from. Yeah,
Well, and if it's limited to an excavator, maybe they could get the excavator and the county could borrow theirs.
Well,
And then we wouldn't have to own our own.
so we'll look to what the limitations are of funds, and I was always a little leery of getting an excavator too, because it does just lead to many more expenses and.
So how often, if I could, how often does soda water use an excavator
Right.
or contract one out? I mean, is there a history on the thing?
Not that often, I think, but if I remember correctly, Jordan, it was gonna be something that was to be available for the county to use as well.
Right, and.
well, that was back when they were doing all the culvert studies and all that
Right.
stuff.
I think they're trying to start a program that
Yes,
the service to the county, I think, as well as maybe even towns to to provide that work out to them.
A stream project, is similar to one that they had in Chemung County.
That's
And
right.
The guy from Sherman came and
Yeah, I
did a
remember,
presentation.
So just recently, there was a beaver dam washout up in Middlefield, I think.
Yep.
And the town of Middlefield wanted the Soil and Water Office to help actually pay for, or contribute in some way to the damaged road. So I would think that might be a place where, like, oh, yeah, we have an excavator, but, you know, that would be the end of really what we could do.
So do they dig, when they do their manure storage pits or whatever they do they, some contractor dig that out? Or?
Contractor does
So,
everything.
soil and water would.
Yeah. Contractor does A to Z.
What might be more helpful for soil and water is various kinds of scientific equipment, measurement equipment for streams, biology type stuff. Some of that can be.
Which we did buy one for the Otsego Lake group. We bought
Right.
the one that the directions came in German.
Ah,
So that was really interesting.
I think the bottom line is just investigate how much flexibility, if it's excavator specific or is there something else that can be used.
Well, you know, they're gonna give you the money to buy it. It doesn't hurt to have a spare one between both. Anyway, you know, it's like great.
If it's limited to that, yeah,
I'd rather buy it than give the money back to them myself.
and then the county can lease it
You know, do whatever we.
when it's doing those kind of projects, rather than wear and tear on.
I don't know how big this thing is. I mean, there's all different sizes of excavators.
How much you get for 200,000? We kind of asked that question ourselves.
Yeah,
You aren't gonna get it's probably gonna be a mini, not a mini, so.
Be a 690.
No, it'll be a mid-size at that price.
yeah. So,
The minis cost 60,000, you know, good ones, but not the minis, they're like, but even those at 30.
Oh,
We can buy a mini for 6,000 over to Manassas, but they're not much bigger than a shovel.
Yeah. Might better have a pickaxe and shovel in one of those.
thanks for bringing that up, Jim.
I
And forgot
we're
about it.
supposed to go here with that.
We'll ask some better questions about that funds.
Okay, next under continuing business, I have the Mosa Beach pipe project to discuss updates. Yeah, it is our understanding that Montgomery County has signed a contract with Barton Judas to proceed with the final engineering design. There's a kickoff meeting, November 14th, 10 a.m. at Montgomery County DPW. I don't know in what detail or, you know, how much we want to discuss or any questions. I know we're kind of looking into questions about our contract for the post closure, and does that hold us to you know, what does that hold us to, if anything, with this? What happens if they go forward and we're not on board, and all of those things? We are trying to find the answers to all of that and working with the county attorney's office. But seems like they're going forward with it, so.
So do we go to that kickoff meeting or stay away from it?
I think we go. Just to be informed, because we may. You know, we don't know yet what our legal implications are if they move forward without.
Well, let's keep in mind, all they're doing is a detailed engineering study.
Yes.
Could help us fully understand the project. So in that engineering study, we could demand that there be cost benefit kind of comparisons on other options for the engineer to report back to us. that's probably gonna be beyond the scope of the contract that they have signed, but we could certainly push that at the November 24th meeting. But here's the thing, they have a grant basically just for the engineering study. And I don't know, do you recall what our costs would be just for that?
Yes, it was in the 200,000s.
Right,
And so the grant is for the entire project, but the
I know.
amount of the grant is really only gonna cover the engineering.
right.
Cause that's the clarity I needed to get from the Department of State to understand like, well, cause if the grant was just for the engineering, then let's see, sure, let's see what comes out of it, but the deliverables of the grant is to complete the entire project, so.
Which means we can't go back to the well and get more grant money for this.
Right.
So we probably ought to preserve our lack of support for the overall project, but get whatever information we can from them. I mean, something like that.
And I think what will be particularly good information to know from the final engineering design is truly what size tank we need. We know the tank needs to be replaced. They couldn't give us a good number definitively of what that size needs to be. The tank may absolve us of some of the challenges that we're currently facing if we increase the size of the tank, don't need to make as many trips. But we don't know what that size is, right? And what that cost would be. That might become much more feasible. In the meantime, but these are the unknowns until the engineering work is done.
Do we fund all of most of the costs through tip fee, user fee, all that, or is it?
Yeah, through our user fee.
Did we find, I know you, yesterday we talked about Denise was looking into,
I haven't heard anything, yeah.
I believe she's reaching out today.
And then separate from this, all this is from the perspective of the MOSA committee itself. Right? But there's a broader question of whether or not the leadership in all three counties should be more involved without going into a lot of detail for why we think about that. We've made repeated efforts and have been rebuffed in that sort of, kind of. Meg had some conversations. It was with the
County
executive of Montgomery County who seemed open. It was unclear to me, possibly open to the kind of conversation we want, if it was there and it included a tour of the facility, which certainly can't hurt, but reading between the lines, and I could very well be wrong on this. I think that the conceit that some of the project people have pushing forward on this is if you can just see the physical layout, how short the pipe is, et cetera, this will all be completely clear that this is the best thing to do. And I think what we're pushing for is a little more formal cost benefit, consideration of different options, documentation.
well,
I think
I think you're right, but I think it is environmentally and ease of operation, it is the best thing to do, whether or not it's the most cost effective thing to do. May not necessarily be
Right.
true.
And I don't think it's as big a financial deal for either Schoharie or for Montgomery County as it is
For us, right? It seems like it's gotta be, I mean, I know we applied for the one grant, didn't get it, or didn't get as much as we thought, but it seems like there's gotta be more money out there that help with this.
We did contact DEC and just ask them, you know, are there any, because this is, these funds are coming from Department of State. So we thought, let's see if DEC has any more funds from an environmental perspective, less from a shared services perspective. And they said, no, they don't typically
DEC.
fund that kind of project. And I, part of it, I wonder is
What about
because
like Corps of Engineers, federal?
I haven't looked there yet. But I know that they have, there are organizations who are concerned about putting leachate in wastewater treatment plants. And I think, so DEC was kind of like, well, no, that's not really, we don't really have funding for that sort of thing. And I think they're under consideration of like, well, there are groups that are organizing around this issue. I don't know that, you know, so yeah, you're right. Let's look to the federal level and see what the.
So who does stormwater drainage grants? Is that deep, that would, I mean, I know there's a couple villages that have got grants for
It
stormwater.
could be I mean, it depends on where it comes from. It could be DEC, it could be, well, Environmental Facilities Corporation, I think is technically under DEC.
No, it's not.
It's not
But
separate.
it works very
They work closely. Okay.
environmental finance corporation.
Soil and water might be, not soil and water, but the federal partners, the US,
Oh, like NRCS.
NRCS might be somebody that,
Yeah. But my question, and I've asked it a couple of times, if we invest in this giant project, for us it's giant, I'll just say that's pretty big anyway. To easily put the leachate into a wastewater treatment plant, and then at some future date, they decide leachate should not be going into wastewater treatment plants. Is that a thing? Is that a possibility?
that's what we question.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
and yes. I'm not aware of any real conversations happening around legislation or anything like
Okay.
that. I just know that there are some fairly organized groups with detailed reports who are pushing their concerns at the state level.
So you're supposed to,
Great question. I mean, I wonder, there are like on-site treatment kind of things where you just keep kind of looping it back into itself and it
Until
stays
comes
there.
out clean.
Or you just put it back in the landfill and it comes back out and then you put it back in. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
These are the kinds of things that would be nice to be able to talk with our administrators of the landfill.
Well, here's an idea, but your soil and water, the county, I mean, it's in Montgomery County, they do manure storage projects, they do
Yeah,
Maybe-
they do.
soil and water in Montgomery County, could do it as a project.
excavator, dig a big hole.
Yeah, let's just give them the excavators.
That's our,
This is our.
That's our work.
It's our contribution, our in-kind.
Best of luck, guys.
Okay,
So, maybe we just kind of ride along through this, the final engineering design. We'll know a lot more when that's done.
this kind of all goes back to the question that started this whole discussion is, do we want to go participate in that meeting? And I think we do.
Right.
yeah,
Now, we gotta be prepared for them saying, you haven't agreed to this, so you're not
Not invited.
I don't think they can do that because we're sitting members of most of the
Right.
committees.
Yeah, they can't do that.
But they could. It might be uncomfortable. The actual meeting, I say we just send.
Go
Go in there with your camouflage.
Okay,
If that's so, would we need to notice that or like,
What do you mean?
like if SWEC members attended that?
as long as it depends on,
we weren't gonna be
as long as we
voting.
don't have a
Okay,
Just make sure we don't have a quorum.
quorum, right?
okay.
Would
I'm
that,
actually not sure that you don't, because we're not gonna be deciding anything.
Oh,
We're just
okay.
gonna be like going. I think that we could ask Denise, but I do feel that open meetings interpretation could be that we're going there for an educational
Sorry,
purpose and.
Oh, nice, it would be nice if she went. I mean, it's not the fun.
Yeah.
So, I'll check into that Denise.
Who wouldn't want to visit a landfill? I mean, come on.
No, but I mean, go to this meeting.
Yeah, exactly. Who wouldn't want to go to a landfill?
Their offices are pretty snazzy.
So
Okay.
the Montgomery County office building is a first. So I went to that meeting and you had it like, my high school was Cooperstown, so we didn't have stairs or anything, but it was really very schoolish. Fluorescent lights like ours, but definitely got a feeling that it was mostly like those school spirits were still in there.
This is the DPW building and it's like this brand new facility.
Yeah, it really is quite nice.
Up on 29, right?
Everybody else.
Yeah. I think it's about 5.
That was on 29. Or sure.
You're talking about the one in Fonda? We're just past the bridge. Isn't that where it is?
That's
Never mind, never mind.
It's just, yeah, the road that runs parallel to,
The road.
yeah.
Sorry.
That's fine.
Yeah.
They put a brand new building.
Yeah.
Here, Randall,
Up on the hill there, yeah.
next to Randall, is what,
The last item is just an update on the USGS submission for the town of Middlefield. They have approved at the federal level, the submission of all the names except for Niskayuna Rock. So if you go on the USGS map website with the, showing the different, geographic names, they're there, which is pretty cool. We are still working with the local tribal entities to kind of suss out what concerns they may have about this community. The concerns came from the federal level down to us, so they just need us to verify. Sometimes
they
we
didn't
have
necessarily have concerns, they just wanted to make sure that
make sure there were no
there
concerns.
were no concerns.
Yes.
about it.
And so sometimes it can take a little bit just to hear back locally,
Right.
so we're working on that. But otherwise, the rest are all in there, which is neat. And I would just say, you know, having been through this process now, there are other communities that wanna get this kind of stuff on the map. Let us know.
Thank you for that.
It is great to have them be officially named because I, like, even when you read older books or histories about Otsego County, some of these things are mentioned in them for 200 years. They haven't actually been like officially named, but they're in the record. So now they're official.
Anything else?
That's our agenda.
We else have anything? Thank you. Motion to adjourn.
Move that we adjourn.
Second.
Sorry.
All in favor? Aye.
Recording stopped.